Okay, so hello everyone, and let's proceed to the law on sales. Okay, so sa law on sales na tayo. So primarily, isa-summarize muna natin lahat ng napag-usapan natin during our previous class, yung live class natin, yung synchronous, just to organize the topics and para ma-discuss ko rin sa inyo yung relation ng articles sa isa't isa. Okay? Kasi may mga related articles dyan na hindi magkakasunod eh. So kung sunod-sunod lang tayo per article, baka hindi nyo ganun ma-appreciate. So ang gagawin natin, since this is a recorded lecture, pagsasama-samahin natin yung mga yon for easy reference at mas mapapadali yung pagre-review mo in preparation for your mid-year exam and eventually for the CPA board examination. Okay? Okay, so let's proceed. So definition ng sales under Article 1458. Okay? So by the contract of sale, oops, ba't kaya ayaw? Yan, by the contract of sale, one of the contracting parties obligates himself. Ano daw yung obligation ng party na yon? Okay? One of the contracting parties obligates himself or herself to transfer ownership of and to deliver a determinate thing, and the other party obligates himself or herself to pay therefore a price certain in money or its equivalent. So makikita mo agad dyan, definition pa lang ng sales, obviously, it is a bilateral contract. It is a bilateral contract. Okay? So both parties are bound by the obligation and are dependent upon each other. Ano yung obligation ng first party, being the seller, is to transfer ownership and to deliver a determinate thing, while the other party, being the buyer, is obliged to pay a price certain in money or its equivalent. Okay, so under second paragraph of Article 1458, a contract of sale may be absolute or conditional. Okay, we will discuss it later in detail then. Okay, yung distinctions ng dalawang yan, ng dalawang kind of sale na yan. Okay, so characteristics of the contract of sale. Ano-ano nga ba ang characteristics ng contract of sale? Of course, it is a consensual contract. Okay? So as distinguished from real contract, a contract of sale is perfected by mere meeting of minds of the parties. Unlike in a real contract, a contract of sale does not require delivery. Okay? It does not require delivery for its perfection. Next, obviously, sinabi natin kanina that a contract of sale is bilateral contract. It is also an onerous contract. Okay? Because para mag-acquire ka ng certain right or para ma-acquire mo yung thing, it involves valuable consideration. It is also a commutative contract kasi nga nag-exchange kayo eh, 'di ba, ng value. 'Di ba? Values exchange, value ng thing, tsaka value ng price, yung pag-exchange nyo is almost equivalent to each other. Okay? So, commutative contract yan. Of course, it is a nominal contract, obviously. It has its own name and well-defined yung rights and obligations ng parties. And of course, it is a principal. Okay? It is a principal contract. By the way, class, yung dun sa definition, sinabi lang dito, ang nakita lang agad natin sa definition, thing. However, class, sale may also involve as a subject matter a right. So thing or right, pwedeng sale of a thing, sale of a right. More popularly known as assignment of right. Okay? So pwede yung right. 'Di ba na baka naka-encounter ka na nga eh. 'Di ba? Binibenta yung right. O pwede ba ibenta yung right? Pwede naman, 'di ba? In fact, general rule, rights are transmissible, 'di ba? Naalala mo pa sa contracts, sa obligations mo in contracts, 'di ba? General rule, rights are transmissible except those which are not intransmissible, di ba? O ano-ano yung mga yon. O kung personal naman, di ba? Kung personal yung ah, doon sa tao, hindi pwedeng i-transfer yan. Okay? Na-discuss na natin yan doon sa obligations and contracts. Yan, simulan muna natin yung distinction ng absolute sale and conditional sale. Of course, nung recitations natin, last live session natin during our class, medyo nahimay na to, especially dun sa isang section. Doon sa kabilang section, hindi ganong nahimay kasi may iba namang topic din na nahimay doon. So, kaya nag-decide din ako na to summarize in a recorded lecture lahat ng napag-usapan para may uniformity din with respect to uploaded lectures para ma-review nyo during asynchronous sessions. Okay? Or in your own convenient time. Okay? Kung kailan mo free time. Naintindihan ko naman kung mismong asynchronous session, hindi ka rin makapag-log or makapag-view agad. Di ba? Kasi baka may iba ka rin ginagawa. Pero sana dapat, during asynchronous session, ginagamit mo yung time. Okay? To review, ito, kung may recorded lecture, pakinggan mo na para hindi rin sayang yung oras. Anyway, I will hold you responsible for your own time. So, bahala ka na. Kung ano man, kung kailan mo siya gustong pakinggan. Okay? Or kung even kung gusto mo rin siyang pakinggan. Okay? Kasi baka mas effective naman sa'yo, diretso ka na lang magbasa. Okay? So, absolute sale. Of course, napakalinaw. Absolute sale, there is no condition agreed upon by the parties in relation to the transfer of ownership to the buyer, such that upon delivery of the thing sold, the ownership passes to the buyer. So at this point, mas maganda sigurong linawin na natin agad, class. Gusto kong ulit-ulitin, okay, yung napag-usapan natin dati pa sa obligations and contracts. What transfers ownership as a rule? It is the delivery. Okay? It is the delivery that transfers ownership. Okay? So, pag absolute sale yan, once na na-deliver yung object or yung thing sold, automatic, since there is no other condition, automatic ownership passes to the buyer. Unlike in a conditional sale, the ownership does not pass upon delivery, even upon physical delivery of the thing sold, when there is a condition agreed upon by the parties as to when ownership would pass. So sana malinaw yon. Okay? So sa absolute sale, okay? Once na na-deliver, nalipat na rin yung ownership. So does it matter whether the buyer has paid the price? It does not matter. Okay? Hindi usapin yon kung bayad na o hindi. Pag absolute sale, once na na-deliver yung thing sold kay buyer, si buyer na ang may-ari. Regardless of whether the price or the full price has been paid. Okay? So, paano yun, sir? Nalipat na yung ownership, paano kung hindi pa bayad? Then, the buyer will be treated as the debtor to the seller with respect to the price. Okay? So, sana malinaw yun, ha? Sana malinaw yun. Kasi gusto kong mabura agad sa isip mo na yung pagbabayad ng presyo precondition para sabihin ikaw na nga ang may-ari. Hindi ganun yun. Okay? Delivery transfers ownership. Ulitin ko ha, magmamatter ba kung bayad na o hindi yung thing? Hindi. Paanong mangyayari, sir? Paano yon kung hindi pa bayad naging may-ari na yung buyer? Then the buyer will be treated as the debtor of the seller with respect to the unpaid price of such thing. Okay? Sa absolute sale. However, sa conditional sale, kahit na-deliver na yung object ng sale, even physical delivery nun, di ba? Hindi malilipat yung ownership sa buyer. Bakit? Kasi may condition pa na pinag-agrihan yung parties na dapat ma-fulfill muna bago ma-transfer yung ownership kay buyer. So magmamatter ang distinction ng absolute sale and conditional sale kapag pinag-uusapan mo yung transfer ng ownership. Bakit importante na malaman mo kung sino na ang may-ari nung thing sold? Malalaman mo yun sa mga susunod nating discussions. Pero sa ngayon, dapat sa pag-a-analyze mo ng problem sa contract of sale, alam mo agad sino na ba ang may-ari nung thing sold. Okay? As early as now, itong mga topics natin ngayon pa lang. Dapat alam mo agad sino yung may-ari nung thing sold. Okay? So, pagdating sa conditional sale, is it necessary? Is it necessary that the condition involves the full payment of the price? Hindi naman, 'di ba? Hindi naman. Pwede ring may iba pang condition na i-impose si seller. Okay? Pero ang most common na condition na ini-impose talaga diyan ay yung full payment of the price. Okay? So upon full payment of the price, then if that is the condition or if that is the sole condition, then the ownership will already transfer to the buyer of the full upon full payment, upon full payment of the purchase price. Okay? So, sana malinaw na 'yan. So, let's continue. Okay, yan. Let's continue. So, i-distinguish muna natin yung sale with other legal relations. Sale as distinguished with contract to sell, agency to sell, dasyon and pago, contract for piece of work, and barter. Okay, unahin natin yung contract to sell. So, dinefine ng Supreme Court yung contract to sell. Okay, in one case. Though marami rin naman ng previous cases. Okay? So, sinabi sa kaso na to that a contract to sell is a bilateral contract whereby the prospective seller, while expressly reserving the ownership of the subject property despite delivery thereof to the prospective buyer, binds himself or herself to sell the said property exclusively to the prospective buyer upon fulfillment of the condition agreed upon. So makikita mo, parang hawig din siya sa conditional sale. Di ba? Parang hawig din siya sa conditional sale. In fact, a contract to sell, okay, a contract to sell is a kind of conditional sale. Okay? As both involve certain conditions and the happening of which would result in certain rights. Okay? Bakit? Tingnan mo. 'Di ba sa conditional sale, kapag nangyari na yung condition, upon happening of the condition, then the ownership automatically passes to the buyer. 'Di ba? Yun nga lang, ang kaibahan dito, ang kaibahan ng conditional sale sa contract to sell, okay? Sorry. In a conditional sale, upon happening ng condition, automatic, nalilipat na kay buyer yung ownership without the need for any other contract or without the need to execute any other contract by the parties. Automatic, yung ownership nalilipat kay buyer by operation of law. Unlike in a contract to sell, okay? Unlike in a contract to sell, so despite the happening of the condition imposed by the seller, hindi malilipat automatic yung ownership. Okay? Ano lang sir ang mangyayari? So upon happening of the condition, magkakaroon lang ng right si buyer to compel. Okay? Magkakaroon lang ng right si buyer to compel the seller to sell such property. Kailan malilipat sir yung ownership? O upon execution of the final deed of sale. Okay? So yun ang kaibahan. Yung contract to sell, hindi siya talaga sale. Okay? Though, sabi nga sa definition, it is a bilateral contract whereby the prospective seller, while expressly reserving the ownership of the subject property despite delivery thereof to the prospective buyer, binds himself or herself to sell the said property exclusively to the prospective buyer upon fulfillment of the condition agreed upon. So, upon fulfillment of the condition agreed upon, si prospective buyer magkakaroon lang siya ng right to compel the prospective seller to sell the property to him or to her. Okay? So, kita mo agad yung kaibahan ng contract of sale versus contract to sell. Ang contract to sell ay para siyang species ng conditional sale. Okay? So, how about contract of sale versus contract of agency to sell? Okay? Paano mo naman siya i-distinguish? Actually, nasa 14 ano yan eh. 1466, di ba? 1466. Ayun, nilagay ko pala. Ayun pala. Sorry. In construing a contract containing provisions, characteristics of both the contract of sale and of the contract of agency to sell, the essential clauses of the whole instrument shall be considered. Okay? So, tignan mo daw lahat ng essential clauses para malaman mo kung contract of sale or contract of agency to sell ba yung involved. Eto na naman. Sir, bakit kailangan naming malaman kung contract of sale ba yan or agency to sell? Ulitin ko. Ano uli ang main goal ng contract of sale? Di ba to transfer ownership for a price certain? Kapag agency to sell, hindi nalilipat yung ownership. Again, bakit relevant or bakit important na malaman natin kung sino yung owner? Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na concept sa contract of sale that the owner will suffer the loss or the owner will bear the loss. Okay? Yun yung tinatawag na resperit domino. So kung sino yung owner, siya yung magsasuffer ng loss ng thing. So kung contract of sale yan, sino na ang owner? Si buyer na. 'Di ba? Kasi yun naman ang end goal eh. Kung as a rule o kung wala pa namang binigay na scenario na after perfection, before delivery, yung mga ganun-ganon. Anyway, in the future or in the next or in the succeeding lectures, i-discuss din naman natin 'yon. Okay? So, again, bakit importante? Para malaman mo kung sino ang owner. Kaya importante na ma-distinguish mo kung yung contract ba ay contract of sale or agency to sell. And Article 1466 gave you the guidance kung paano mo i-interpret. Sabi niya, in construing a contract containing provisions, characteristics of both the contract of sale and of the contract of agency to sell, the essential clauses of the whole instrument shall be considered. Paano yun, sir? Basahin mo daw lahat ng essential clauses. Tignan mo para malaman mo kung contract of sale ba siya or agency to sell. Okay? Example. Ito, bar exam question. Take natin to. A granted B the exclusive right to sell his brand of maong pants in Isabela. Okay? The price for his merchandise payable within 60 days from delivery, and promising B a commission of 20% on all sales. After the delivery of the merchandise to B, but before he could sell any of them, B's store in Isabela was completely burned without his fault, together with all of Ace's pants. Must B pay A for his lost pants? Okay, ulitin natin ha, may dumaang maingay, sorry. Medyo maingay dito sa lugar ko ngayon, okay? So A, kaya nilalakasan ko yung boses ko eh. Okay, so A granted B the exclusive right to sell his brand of maong pants in Isabela. The price for his merchandise payable within 60 days from delivery, and promising B a commission of 20% on all sales. After the delivery of the merchandise to B, but before he could sell any of them, B's store in Isabela was completely burned without his fault, together with all of A's pants. must be pay A for his lost pants. Oh, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na para malaman mo kung sino ba ang liable, kailangan malaman mo sino na ba yung owner at the time of loss. Okay? Kagaya dito sa illustration natin. Ano yung cause ng loss? Nagkaroon ng sunog, 'di ba? Nasunog yung mga pantalon. Nasunog yung mga maong pants. Ngayon, ang kasunduan nila, si A, binigyan ng exclusive right to sell, okay? Si B, ng mga maong pants ni A. Okay? The price for his merchandise payable within 60 days from delivery. And promising B a commission of 20% on all sales. After the delivery of the merchandise at bago niya mabenta yung mga maong na na-deliver sa kanya, yung tindahan ni B nasunog kasama ng mga pants. Okay? Ang tanong ngayon, si B ba liable na bayaran yung mga pants na nasunog? O, kailangan mo ngayon malaman, ano ba yung contract between A and B? Nagkaroon ba ng contract of sale? O meron lang silang agency to sell? Okay? So, pag-isipan mong maigi, bigyan kita ng mga 5 seconds. 5 seconds lang. Sagot ka na, di ba? Contract of sale ba siya o agency to sell? Okay? Balik tayo dun sa guidance. Di ba? Sabi sa Article 1468, ay 66, para daw in construing whether a contract containing provisions, characteristics of both contract of sale and of the contract of agency to sell, the essential clauses of the whole instrument shall be considered. Ano ba yung mga essential clauses dito sa problem na to? Di ba? O, tignan mo yung unang clause. Binigyan daw ng exclusive right to sell ng maong pants ni A si B. Ano pa yung next clause? The price for his merchandise payable within 60 days from delivery. Ano pa yung next clause? 20% commission on all sales. Ngayon, yan yung essential clauses, correct? Nasunog ngayon yung mga pinapabentang pantalon. Okay? 'Di ba? Nasunog ngayon yung mga binebentang pantalon ni B na binigay sa kanya ni A, 'di ba? By virtue of such exclusive right granted by A. Correct? Hmm. How will you construe the agreement? Okay? How will you construe the agreement between A and B? By reading the essential clauses. Okay. By reading the essential clauses, ano ngayon ang makukonclude mo? Meron bang agency to sell o contract of sale? Answer, the contract between A and B is a contract of sale and not agency to sell. Sir, bakit? May commission pa nga si B, oh. Oh, may commission pa nga si B. Di parang pinapabenta lang naman ni A. Pero kung titignan mo, merong clause that the price is payable by B 60 days from delivery. So regardless, di ba? Regardless kung mabenta niya o hindi yung mga pantalon ni A, babayaran niya pa rin kay A yung mga pantalon ni A. Okay? Kasi kung agent lang si B, hindi bound si B na bayaran kung hindi naman niya nabenta yung mga pantalon ni A. Pero kasama sa clause ng problem na ito is that the price for the merchandise is payable within 60 days from delivery. So, obviously, this is a contract of sale. So, if this is a contract of sale, okay? If this is a contract of sale, then as the buyer, si B, okay, si B as the buyer, then the ownership over the maong pants was transferred to B as the buyer at the time of delivery. If the ownership has already passed to B at the time of delivery, then the thing or the maong pants perishes with the owner. Who is the owner? B. Sino ang magsasuffer ng loss ng pagkasunog ng mga pantalon? Si B. So ano ngayon ang liability ni B? Bayaran pa rin yung mga pantalon, yung price ng pantalon kay A. O pero kung agency to sell to, hindi liable si B na bayaran yung mga pantalon ni A. Bakit? Kasi si A pa rin ang may-ari ng mga pantalon nung nasunog yung mga pantalon. Pero sa problem na to, contract of sale siya, 'di ba? Then, if it is a contract of sale, then the ownership has already passed to B. Then B will suffer the loss of the Maong pants and B must still pay the price of the Maong pants. Okay? Next illustration. Ito, para lang mas ma-appreciate mo yung importance ng pagkakaalam kung sino ang owner o hindi, 'di ba? At yung importance of knowing, di ba? The importance of knowing whether it is a contract of sale or a contract of agency. So in a contract between US Rubber International Company and Care and Company, the former consigned to the latter certain goods to be sold by the distributor. Prior to such sale, the rubber company would remain the owner. The contract, however, stated expressly that Care and Company was not being made an agent and could not bind the company. What kind of contract transpired between the parties? Hmm. What kind of contract transpired between the parties? Again, under 1466, binigyan tayo ng guidance. So, in construing whether it is a contract of sale or agency to sell, it is necessary for us to check the essential clauses of the contract or the agreement between the contracting parties. Di ba? Yun naman yung sinabi nga nating guidance under 1466. Di ba? It is the essential clauses of the whole instrument shall be considered. Alamin uli natin, ano nga bang essential clauses dito? First, si US Rubber International Company, kinonsign niya yung mga goods niya to be sold by Kerr and Company. Pero prior to such sale, si US Rubber Company would remain to be the owner. O, di doon pa lang, medyo malinaw na. Di ba? Actually, malinaw na. Kasi ni-reserve ni Rubber Company or ni US Rubber Company yung ownership over the goods. If the consignor or if US Rubber International Company reserved its ownership over the goods, obviously wala siyang tinransfer na ownership kay Kerr and Company. Okay? So walang contract of sale. Anong klaseng contract to? Agency to sell. Eh sir, paano yun? May sinabi dyan sa dulo. Sinabi daw sa contract expressly that Kerr and Company was not being made an agent and could not bind the company. Regardless of such clause. Again, balik tayo doon sa sinabi natin kanina. Ano ang main goal sa contract of sale? Transfer of ownership. Since US Rubber Company retained its ownership over the goods, then it is not a contract of sale. Okay? So, the contract between US Rubber Company and Kerr and Company is merely an agency to sell. Despite the disclaimer in the contract. Ano yung disclaimer? Yung sinabi na hindi daw siya magiging agent. Okay? Ang importante, okay, yung essential clause that the US Rubber Company retained ownership over the goods. In fact, yung price nga subject pa sa kanyang control. Okay? Despite the delivery of goods to Kerr and Company. Okay? So, sana malinaw na yung importance ng ownership. Okay? Yung importance ng ownership at yung distinction of whether it is a contract of sale or contract of agency to sell. Okay? So, next. Sorry. Next, okay, contract of sale versus dasyon and pago. So as a reference, para lang ma-review mo uli, ano na nga ba yung dation and payment? So under Article 1245, okay, sa special modes to of payment. So dation and payment whereby property is alienated to the creditor in satisfaction of a debt in money shall be governed by the law on sales. Okay? Shall be governed by the law on sales. So, kaya parang kailangan mo na i-distinguish, di ba? Meron nga bang pagkakaiba ang dation and payment at contract of sale? Of course, di ba? In sale, wala namang pre-existing credit. While in dasyon and pago, meron. In fact, ang dasyon and pago is a mode, is a special form of extinguishing an obligation. Okay? Unlike in a contract of sale, baligtad. Si contract of sale nagke-create ng obligation. Okay? So, yan lang din naman. So, in a contract of sale, the usual, di ba? Ang consideration mo, yung price. Di ba? Sa dasyon and pago, ang consideration mo, extinguishment ng obligation. Okay? Pero remember class, mag apply lang ang provisions ng law on sales sa dation and payment kung yung dation and payment was made in satisfaction of a debt in money. Okay, dapat in satisfaction of a debt in money. Kung hindi in money, yung extinguish mo, hindi law on sales ang mag-a-apply. Ano ang mag-a-apply? Nasagot na yan sa recitation sa isang section natin. Di ba? Sa kabilang section, hindi yan natanong. Okay? Pero sasabihin na natin ngayon. So kung hindi extinguishment of a debt in money yan, hindi law on sales ang i-apply mo. Anong i-apply mo? Law on novation. Okay? Law on novation. Okay? So, tuloy tayo. Okay, next. Next contract. Ayan, contract of sale versus contract for a piece of work. Okay? So, inadapt natin dito sa Philippines. Yung Massachusetts rule. Okay? Massachusetts rule. Meron kasing three schools of thought in determining whether a contract is a contract of sale or whether it is a contract for a piece of work. So sa Article 1467, ang inadapt natin yung Massachusetts rule. Okay? Ano ba yung Massachusetts rule? 'Di ba? Uh, if the object is available and regularly carried on stock, then it is sales. Okay? Tingnan mo. Sige, basahin natin yung Article 1467. Hindi ko yata nalagay dito sa slide. So, basahin na lang natin. Okay? Under Article 1467, ang sabi, a contract for the delivery at a certain price of an article which the vendor in the ordinary course of his business manufactures or procures for the general market, whether the same is on hand at the time or not, is a contract of sale. But if the goods are to be manufactured especially for the customer, and upon his special order, and not for the general market, it is a contract for a piece of work. So, if the object is available and regularly carried on stock, even if it is not available at the time, okay, at the time, it is still a contract of sale. It will only be treated as a contract for a piece of work if such good is to be manufactured especially for the customer upon his special order. Okay? Kung hindi yan ino-offer sa general market, then it is a contract for a piece of work. Unlike in New York rule, if the object is available, then it is a contract of sale. If the object is not available, although it is regularly carried on stock and especially manufactured, it will be considered as a contract for a piece of work. Yung pangatlo, yung English rule. Ito yung medyo kakaiba. Ang titignan mo yung material cost. So, if the material cost is greater than or equal to the labor cost, it is a contract of sale. But if the labor cost is greater than the material cost, it is contract for a piece of work. Okay, so sana Ano lang naman yan, kailangan mo lang ma-familiarize dyan sa tatlong yan. Okay? Let's proceed. O contract of sale versus barter. Okay, next article din yan, di ba? 1468 naman yan. So, ang rule lang dyan, i-check mo yung manifest intention ng parties. Okay, kung tinitreat nila yan as sale, then the manifest intention of the parties, treating such contract or such arrangement as a contract of sale, then sundin mo yun. Kung hindi mo makita or hindi the intention of the parties or the manifest intention of the parties is not apparent, then check what the parties will get by the virtue of the contract. Ang sabi nga sa 1468, di ba? If the consideration of the contract consists partly in money and partly in another thing, the transaction shall be characterized by the manifest intention of the parties. If such intention does not clearly appear, it shall be considered a barter if the value of the thing given as a part of the consideration exceeds the amount of money or its equivalent. Otherwise, it is a sale. So, kung yung object to object, obviously barter yan. Kung object to money, of course, sales yan. Paano kung mixed? Di ba? Paano kung mixed? Kagaya ng sinasabi sa 1468. If the consideration of the contract consists partly in money and partly in other thing, o tignan mo. Kung combination yan, kung mas malaki, okay, yung value of the thing given, okay, barter yan. Kung mas maliit naman, yung value ng thing given, sales yan. Kung equal, sales yan. Okay? Ganyan lang kadali yung rule dyan. So, tandaan mo lang yan. Okay? Next, formalities required. Required ba ang certain form sa contract of sale? Yan. Yan lang yung meaning yan. Required ba ang certain form in a contract of sale? Kung alam mo na ang sale ay consensual contract, obviously, 'di ba? Obviously, alam mo na rin na hindi naman requirement ang certain form sa contract of sale. Why? Because a contract of sale is a consensual contract. Okay? It is consensual contract. However, may mga relevant provisions na pwedeng maapektuhan, okay, yung contract of sale or may require some formalities sa contract of sale. But obviously, sinabi sa Article 1483, subject to the provisions of the Statute of Frauds. So, dapat naalala mo pa yung Statute of Frauds. Okay? And of any other applicable statute, a contract of sale may be made in writing or by word of mouth, or partly in writing and partly by word of mouth, or may be inferred from the conduct of the parties. So as a rule. However, sinabi nga dyan sa 1483, subject to the provisions of the Statute of Frauds. Ano-ano yung mga exceptions na yan sa Statute of Frauds? So sale of personal property at a price not less than 500 pesos. Sale of real property or an interest therein, dapat in writing. Di ba? In writing to mga to. So sale of property not to be performed within a year from the date thereof, or when an applicable statute requires that the contract of sale be in a certain form. Okay? So, kung nakalimutan mo na yung statute of frauds mo, no, may time ka pa para i-review. Just familiarize yourselves. Saan nang ang topic yung statute of frauds? Nasa unenforceable contracts. Okay? Nasa unenforceable contracts yan. I-review mo. Diba? Para ano ka naman, ma-refresh. Okay? So, let's proceed with the essential elements or elements muna. Okay? General elements ng contract of sale. Of course, we have essential elements or essential requisites of a contract of sale. Consent of the contracting parties or the meeting of minds of contracting parties. The object or subject matter, which should be a determinate thing. Mamaya din, expound natin yan. Okay, hindi ko na kasi natanong yan sa recitation or baka sa isang section, baka iba yung matanim sa isip nila dahil medyo napahapyawan ko yan, natatandaan ko. Lilinawin natin ngayon yan for the benefit of both sections. Okay? So, cost or consideration, price certain in money or its equivalent. Okay? Kung tinanong ka naman, kagaya nung nagpa-recite ako last time. Pag tinanong ka naman, kung ano yung mga elements sa contract of sale. So, being a special contract, ibigay mo na yung specific na element or specific essential element with respect to such special contract. Halimbawa, contract of sale. O wag mo naman ang sabihin na cost or consideration. Ang sabihin mo na price certain in money or is equivalent. Okay? Yun lang naman. Next kind of element, natural elements. Okay? So, warranty against eviction, warranty against hidden defects. So, sa mga succeeding lectures, mga next lectures natin, i-discuss natin yung dalawang yan. For now, unahin natin yung essential elements. And all the related articles. Okay? So, the last element, relevant to the contract of sale is accidental element. So, pareho lang siya yung sa contract. Kung yung natural elements deemed to exist even without stipulation or agreement of the parties, ito naman accidental element, hindi mo ipipresume na kasama sa kontrata hanggat hindi pinag-uusapan. Okay, so isa-isay na natin yung essential element. Of course, ang unang-una yung consent of the contracting parties or the meeting of minds of the contracting parties. So, in accordance or under Article 1475, a contract of sale is perfected at the moment there is a meeting of minds upon the thing which is the object of the contract and upon the price. Okay? So, dapat doon magkakaroon ng meeting of minds. Pag nagkaroon ng meeting of minds sa object at sa price, meron ng contract of sale. Okay? Meron ng perfection ng contract of sale. Okay? So, delivery, kanina nga, sinabi na natin yan. So, delivery or payment is not essential for the contract's perfection. Kuha? So, mas ma-appreciate mo yan sa mga, sa mga susunod nating discussion. Okay? Okay, may tumunog. Yan. So, contract of sale is consummated upon delivery and payment. So, yan mas obvious. Hindi essential sa perfection ng contract of sale ang delivery and payment. In fact, kapag nagkaroon na nga ng delivery and payment, yung contract of sale consummated na. Okay. Didiscuss din natin yung stages ng contract of sale in the next lecture. So, kung sinabi natin consent of the contracting parties, what are the important matters to be remembered? Of course, the capacity to buy or sell or the capacity to contract. So, all discussions, all related articles with respect to capacity na napag-aralan mo sa contract, applicable pa rin dito. Why? Sale is a contract. 'Di ba? Sale is a contract. So, lahat na napag-aralan mo na relevant sa capacity under the general principles of contracts, i-apply mo dito. So, ano dapat yung mga matandaan mo? The rules on minority, the rules on insanity, the rules on lucid interval, the rules on hypnotic spell. O, sana natatandaan mo pa yung mga yan. Okay? The rules of deaf mutes, the emancipated minors. Okay? So sana naalala mo pa yung mga rules na yan. Kung hindi mo na naalala, reviewin mo na uli yung topics sa contracts under capacity. Okay? What else? Ito, diniscuss na rin natin yan sa contracts under the topic capacity of the parties. Meron tayong absolute incapacity at meron tayong relative incapacity under 1490 and 1491. Okay? Obviously, pag sinabi nating absolute incapacity, so such party or such person cannot validly give consent. Di ba? It cannot validly give consent. However, ang relative incapacity, kakaiba. Parang prohibited lang siya to give consent in a specific contract or in a specific capacity. Okay? In a specific capacity. Paano lang mas maintindihan mo siya? Di ba? O, sige. Kailan ka ba nagkakaroon ng capacity? Di ba? Kailan ka ba nagkakaroon ng capacity? O kung hindi ka incapacitated, di ba? O, ano lang ba yung mga specially restrict yung capacity? O kung ikaw ay judge with civil interdiction. O minority and insanity, tatandaan mo pa yan? Pero with respect to insanity, subject to the moment na baka naman nag-decide siya or nag-give siya ng consent during lucid interval. O yung mga ganyan. Okay? So tandaan mo, merong absolute incapacity, relative incapacity. Ang relative incapacity, specific contracts lang. At specific capacity lang ang nire-restrict. Pero kung absolute incapacity yan, totally, hindi ka pwede mag-give ng consent. Okay? How about purchase by minors? So natutunan mo naman yan, di ba, sa capacity under contracts. Na kapag minors, as a rule, yung contracts entered into by minors are voidable. Why? Because they are incapacitated to enter into a contract provided the other party is capacitated. Sana naalala mo pa ha, voidable siya kung yung other party is capacitated tapos si minor, di ba? Pero kung dalawa silang incapacitated, then hindi siya voidable, unenforceable siya. Okay? Unenforceable siya. Isa pang exception sa minor, kung naalala niyo pa yung discussion natin, if the minor actively misrepresented himself or herself as no longer a minor or of majority age. Kasi pwede namang minor siya, pero mukha siyang hindi na siya minor. Tapos actively, nirepresent niya yung sarili niya na hindi na siya minor. Then, magiging binding sa kanya yung contract kasi stop siya dahil nag-misrepresent siya ng sarili niya. However, sa contract of sale, kung si minor ang pinurchase niya ay necessary, then si minor magkakaroon ng valid sale. Then the minor will have the obligation to pay at yung sale between the minor, okay? And yung sale between the minor and the seller is considered valid. Ano nga ba yung necessaries? O, dinefine din naman niya sa civil code under the provisions on support. So, necessaries include everything that is indispensable for the sustenance, dwelling, clothing, and medical attendance according to the social position of the family. Okay? Sinabi naman yan sa article, actually 1489 yung relevant na provision dyan sa sale or purchase ng minor. Okay? Pero yung necessary, yung definition ng necessaries, nasa provisions yan ng civil code under support. Okay? Sa 290, di ba? Article 290. Okay? While a minor has no capacity to buy or sell, di ba? As a rule, exception yang necessary. At ano pa yung exception with respect to sale, sorry, with respect to sale, if the minor actively misrepresented himself or herself to be of age. Okay? So magiging binding yung kontrata. Next. So ano pa yung mga incapacitated? Okay? So the husband and wife, pero to kung tutusin relative lang to, 'di ba? Relative incapacity lang to kasi kagaya nito, 'di ba? Ang definition nga natin ng relative incapacity, incapacitated lang sila to give consent in a specific contract and in a specific capacity. Kagaya ng 1490. So the husband and the wife cannot sell property to each other except when a separation of property was agreed upon in the marriage settlements or when there has been a judicial separation of property under Article 191. So, kung other contracts naman yan, hindi naman necessarily incapacitated itong mag-asawa. Sa kanila lang dalawa. Hindi sila pwedeng magbentahan ng property. Okay? Bakit sir? Bakit ganun? Of course, to avoid prejudice to third persons. Okay? Kasi baka i-influence nung isang spouse yung other spouse. Okay? Plus, meron din kasing prohibition of donating, di ba, to each other, yung husband and wife. Except in times of family rejoicing. Alam niyo na yun, kung nag-tax 2 na kayo, nandoon niya sa tax 2, di ba? Okay? So, except in times of family rejoicing, moderate gifts, yan sinabi. Since may prohibition doon, O what is prohibited directly cannot be undone or cannot be violated indirectly. Okay? So, contract of sale, hindi rin pwede. What else? Okay, under Article 491, on the Article 491, relative incapacity pa rin to. So, pasadahan lang natin. The following persons cannot acquire by purchase, even at a public or judicial auction, either in person or through mediation of another. The guardian, with respect to the property of the person or persons who may be under his guardianship. Agents, with respect to those properties whose administration or sale may have been entrusted to them unless the consent of the principal has been given. The executors and administrators with respect to the property of the estate under their respective administration. Public officers and employees with respect to the property of the state or any subdivision thereof, blah blah blah, etc. The justices, judges, prosecuting attorneys, clerks of superior and inferior courts, and other officers and employees connected with the administration of justice with respect to the property and rights in litigation, and any other specially disqualified by law. Okay? So, ano ang effect ngayon kung nagkaroon ng bentahan? Okay, kagaya nito. Sige, papansin ko lang sa'yo. Sorry. Sabi natin kanina, ang relative incapacity, nagmamatter lang siya or incapacitated lang siya to a specific contract and in a specific capacity. For example, the guardian, hindi lang siya pwedeng magbigay ng consent or hindi siya pwedeng mamili in his capacity as guardian. Pero in any other capacity, hindi naman siya incapacitated to enter into a contract of sale. However, under 1491, the law expressly provides that the guardian is incapacitated to purchase. Iyan na naman. Kaya bakit din siya relative incapacity? Expressly under Article 1491, incapacitated lang siya to purchase. Hindi siya incapacitated to sell. O, sana napansin mo yun. O, yung 1491, ini-incapacitate lang si guardian to purchase. Hindi siya incapacitated to sell. In fact, pwede bang magbenta ng property ng ward si guardian? Yes, pwede. I-cross-reference mo uli sa napag-aralan mo sa rescissible contracts. Di ba? Kailan lang magiging rescissible yung bentahan na ginawa ng guardian involving the property of his ward? O kapag may lesson of more than one-fourth, o di obviously, doon pa lang sa situation na yon, hindi binabawalan yung guardian na magbenta ng property ng ward niya. Meron nga lang effect, magiging rescissible nga lang yung contract of sale kung may lesson of more than one-fourth of the value of the property of the ward. Okay? So sana mas malinaw na yung meaning ng relative incapacity. Incapacitated lang for a specific contract and for a specific capacity. Okay? Ngayon, ano ang effect ngayon ng mga sales na to? Dito may conflicting views yung mga authors. Okay? Si Attorney De Leon, si Professor De Leon, kung yun ang ginagamit nyo, okay? Kung yun ang ginagamit nyo, sabi niya, yung items 1 to 3, okay? Items 1 to 3, ito. Yan, tong items 1 to 3, voidable. Tapos tong items 4 to 6, void. Okay? Si Professor Tolentino, the eminent civilist, Professor Tolentino, ang stand niya naman dyan, yung lahat ng 6 items na yan, voidable. Even Justice Paras, na isa ring author, isa ring authority with respect to civil law. Lahat daw yan voidable. Sila Professor Vitug, sila Justice Vitug actually, si Professor Baviera, lahat yung 1 to 6 void. Okay. Sir, ano ngayon ang susundin namin, sir? Void ba lahat yan o voidable lang? Okay? For purposes, di ba? For purposes of uniformity. Okay? Sundin nyo na lang muna yung nasa textbook ni Professor De Leon. Okay? Ni Professor De Leon. Para safe lang. Okay? Pero ako, kung sa bar exam yan, ang stand ko dyan, lahat din yan talaga void. Hindi siya voidable. Void yan, yung anim na yan. Pero since ang stand ni Professor De Leon na ginagamit mong textbook ay 1 to 3, voidable, yung 4 to 6 ay void. O yun na lang muna para safe. But for me, para sa akin, ako lang naman to, mga ganyan, void. No? Void yung mga yan. Why? Kasi yung sinundan niya article 490 void eh. Wala namang distinguish. Pero anyway, hindi naman to bar exam. So CPA examination naman to. Okay? So tuloy tayo. With respect to subject matter. Okay? Subject matter, ano yung kailangan mong matandaan? Ito yung mga gusto ko rin linawin sa subject matter. Okay? So sale may pertain to things or rights. So kung rights yan, assignment of rights ang tawag. Of course, the thing must be within the commerce of men. The thing must be licit. And the thing must be determinate. So ibig sabihin ba sir, walang sale, there can be no valid sale if the subject matter involves a sale of a generic thing? Hindi naman. O yan ang gusto ko linawin. Kaya naalala ko, sinabi ko sa live session natin, dapat ang tinutukoy dyan na determinating, obviously, determinating and determinable thing. Bakit? Sinabi kasi, tingnan mo, sabi kasi sa Article 1460, dinefine niya muna kailan ba nagiging determinate yung isang thing. A thing is determinate when it is particularly designated or physically segregated from all others of the same class. Pero, sinabi niya sa second paragraph, the requisite that a thing be determinate is satisfied if at the time the contract is entered into, the thing is capable of being made determinate, oh, without the necessity of a new or further agreement between the parties. So hindi naman ibig sabihin na generic thing yan. Hindi na valid yung sale. Pwede. In fact, lahat naman ng binibenta sa totoo lang generic eh. Di ba? Upon delivery, nagiging specific siya in a way. O, bigyan kita example. Halimbawa, bibili ka ng kotse. O, sabi mo, 2020 Mitsubishi Expander GLS. O, 2020 Mitsubishi Expander GLS. Is that a determinate thing? Hindi naman, di ba? Kailan lang magiging determinate ang isang kotse? Kapag na-identify na yung chassis number, kapag nalagyan na siya ng plate number, o specific na, determinate na, yun na mismo yung kotse na yun. Pero nung namili ka, hindi pa naman siya determinate, correct? But, at the time the contract is entered into, such car, such Expander 2020 GLS is capable of being made determinate without necessity of new or further agreement between the parties. O, yun lang ang meaning nun, class. Okay? So, wag mo namang mamasamain na porky generic, hindi na pwede. Tandaan mo lang, kung sale of generic thing yan, dapat masatisfy niya yung dalawang requisite na sinabi sa second paragraph. Dalawa yung requisite, di ba? Dapat daw, at the time the contract is entered into, that thing is capable of being made determinate. Ano yung pangalawang requisite? Without the necessity of a new or further agreement between the parties. Satisfy mo lang yun. So, pag sale of a generic thing, it must be capable of being made determinate at the time the contract was entered into and without the need of a new or further agreement between the parties. Okay? So, tandaan mo hindi porke sale of generic thing, hindi pwedeng maging subject ng contract of sale or such contract of sale is void. Hindi totoo yon. pwede pa ring valid ang sale of a generic thing basta si generic thing is capable of being made determinate at the time of contract the contract was entered into without the need of a new or further agreement between the parties. Okay? Sana malinaw yon. Okay? So, next. So, what else may be the subject of a contract of sale? Things having potential existence may be object of the contract of sale. The efficacy of the sale of a mere hope or expectancy is deemed subject to the condition that the thing will come into existence. So, the sale of a vain hope or expectancy is void. So, pwede ka rin magkaroon ng object or subject matter ng contract of sale na future thing. Ano lang ang importante? Dapat, yung thing na yon is of potential existence. Ano ang importante? Yung potentiality of existence. Yan ang tandaan mo ha. Yan ang importante dyan. Yung potentiality of existence. Halimbawa, ah nagtanim yan. Minsan nga actually bago pa magtanim yung mga magsasaka eh. Meron na siyang buyer, meron ng ano yan, nakaabang na rice trader dyan, bibili ng mga tanim niya. O ganun yun. Things of potential existence. Di ba? Hindi naman nire-require ng batas na yung thing sold or the thing itself is already in existence at the time of sale. In fact, sabi nga sa 1461, puwapayag ang batas ng sale of future things or future goods. Di ba? Sa 1462. Sale of future things or future goods can be a valid subject of sale as long as it has the potentiality of existence. So, kung yung magsasaka, hindi pa niya nga tinatanim, pwede niya lang ibenta yung aanihin niya eh. Eh paano sir? Kung wala talagang naani dun sa palayan, ano yung status ng sale? Okay? Valid pa rin. Valid pa rin, di ba? Ano lang uli ang kailangan mo para malaman mo kung valid ba yung sale? Balik ka uli dun sa tatlong requisites. Kumpleto ba yung tatlong requisites? Then, it is a valid sale. Kumpleto pa rin eh. Di ba? Kumpleto pa rin. Eh paano nga sir kung hindi makapag-deliver yung magsasaka upon yung nag-ani siya or hindi siya nakaani? O then, he will be liable for damages. Di ba? Pwede. Eh yung, kailangan niya ba ibalik yung binayad? Of course, kailangan niya ibalik. Anong concept? Solution indemnity, unjust enrichment. Di ba? Kaya masaya civil law eh. Di ba? Kaya masaya civil law. Okay? Kaya kailangan mo rin talaga, by heart, alam mo yung obligations and contracts mo. Okay? Next, ayan pala, sale of a future thing, emsio res perati, emsio space, sale of a present thing, or the hope or expectancy. Ang binibili mo yung hope eh, present thing yun. Okay? Lotto ticket, yan yung karaniwan. What are the goods that may be the subject of a contract of sale? So existing goods owned and possessed by the seller, or goods to be manufactured, raised, or acquired by the seller after the perfection of the contract of sale. O ang tawag mo dyan, future goods. Yeah, future goods. Okay? So goods whose acquisition by the seller depends upon contingency which may or may not happen. Pwede rin. Kaya nga pwede talagang future goods. Okay? 1462. Sabi sa 1462, the goods which form the subject of a contract of sale may be either existing goods owned or possessed by the seller, or goods to be manufactured, raised, or acquired by the seller after the perfection of the contract of sale. In this title is called future goods. So anong definition ng future goods? O yan, the goods which form the subject of a contract of sale or existing goods owned, blah, blah, blah. Yan. Okay? There may be a contract of sale of goods whose acquisition by the seller depends upon a contingency which may or may not happen. Ano pa ang pwedeng subject? O the sole owner of a thing may sell an undivided interest therein. Alam ko medyo napahapyawan ko na doon sa isang section, pero doon sa other section hindi. So, i-discuss ko lang siya ng kaunti ngayon. Ganto lang yan, class. Yung the sole owner of a thing may sell an undivided interest therein. Halimbawa, may-ari ka ng lupa. Ang sukat ng lupa mo ay 500 square meters. Yan, 500 square meters. Buo naman yon, di ba? O mag-imagine ka ng isang buong lupa square. Yan ang sukat niya, 500 square meters. Pwede mong ibenta yung kahit anong interest doon, kahit hindi mo pa hinahati. Halimbawa, binenta mo sa kapatid mo or sa kaibigan mo. Si A, eto na lang, o si A, may-ari siya ng isang lupa na 500 square meters. Okay? Na 500 square meters. Sabi niya, benta ko sa iyo B. No, sabi niya kay B, benta ko sa iyo yung 1/4 ng lupa ko. Pwede ba 'yon? Yes, pwede 'yon. Sir, saan parte ng lupa niya yung 1/4? O saka na pag-usapan 'yon, pero valid ba yung sale na sinabi ni A na benta ko sa iyo yung 1/4? Yes, valid pa rin. Bakit? The sole owner of a thing may sell an undivided interest therein. Yun lang yung meaning niyan. What else? Or sorry for typographical error. Things subject to resolutory condition may also be the object of a contract of sale. Dali lang intindihin. Cost or consideration. Okay, what are the important matters that must be remembered with respect to cost or consideration? When will you consider the price certain? Ito lang. If the parties have agreed upon a definite amount for the sale, or if it be certain with reference to another thing certain, if the determination of the price is left to the judgment of a specified person or persons, and if the price fixed is that which the thing sold would have on a definite day or in a particular exchange or market, and when an amount is fixed above or below on such day or in such exchange or market, provided said amount is certain. Madali lang naman intindihin yan. Ano pa ang dapat mong intindihin or matandaan? Gross inadequacy. Okay, natanong ko to din sa isang section. Tandaan mo ha, gross inadequacy of the price in a contract of sale does not affect the validity of such contract of sale. Except na lang kung yung gross inadequacy may indicate defect in the consent. Or if the parties really intended the agreement or really intended among them that such arrangement is a donation or some other act or contract. Pero tandaan mo lang, gross inadequacy of the price does not affect the contract of sale. So kahit kotse yan, alam ko na discuss ko rin to sa consideration dun sa contract. Halimbawa, binentahan ka ng kotse, piso. Will it necessarily mean that such contract is void? Hindi naman. Kasi may consideration pa rin, piso. Sir, sobrang baba naman yung value ng kotse pag palagay mo 1 million. Tapos piso lang binenta. Balik ka sa 1470. Gross inadequacy of the price does not affect the contract of sale. Why? Kagaya nung diniscuss ko sa consideration sa contract, pwede kasing may ibang consideration. Pwede yung binayad, part ng consideration, piso. Pero yun pala, may other consideration. Ano yun? Magre-render ka ng service. Di ba? O pwede sa kumpanya, render ka ng service. Binigyan ka nila ng kotse. Pero kapalit, hindi ka pwede mag-resign ng 3 years. O mga ganun. Yun yung other consideration. Kaya it does not necessarily mean that when the price is grossly inadequate, then it will follow that the contract of sale is void. Hindi. Kasi sabi nga sa 1470, gross inadequacy of the price does not affect a contract of sale. Okay, so for now, siguro dyan muna tayo matatapos. Next meeting natin sa mga magla-live lecture, same assignment. So ang recitations nyo, same assignment. Pwede kang matanong sa kahit saan. Then sa next recorded or uploaded lecture, ganitong uli ang mangyayari. I-organize natin na sama-sama na lahat ng related topics and related articles. Okay, so thank you for listening. I hope may mas nalinawan na. Okay, I hope mas nalinawan na as medyo nagaguide na rin yung medyo nakuha mo na yung face mo sa pagbabasa ng textbook or ng provisions ng law on sales. Naintindihan ko naman na galing pa tayong lahat sa bakasyon at medyo overwhelmed ka pa sa mga nababasa mo. So again, please bear with me. Gagawin ko naman lahat ng sa tingin kong makakatulong sa'yo at i-organize natin lahat ng topics na related para mas madali mo siyang maintindihan. Okay, so thank you again. Thank you for listening, everyone, and have a nice day. And thank you. God bless.